Welcome back, Bombs.
Welcome back to the Working Man's Podcast with the High Viz duo.
Fucking KPMG, Big Four, snore up top.
Yeah, lots of pain and lots of
Repping the brand. Oh, wrong side.
Oh my god, that was bad. Cut that out.
Jeez, dude.
Cut that.
Yeah, lots of just general pain and suffering all around.
Yeah, not a
favorite podcast.
tough weekend for the chat.
But I guess while we're on the topic of pain and suffering, I was in Florida all weekend on flights,
Without a fishing rod.
reports, going crazy, not fishing. So I genuinely don't know, but based on the vibes, I'm going to say Jason's weekend did not go well.
Jason's weekend did not go well. We are currently
Saturday though a little bit.
throwing up the 4. And what does the 4 mean, Alex?
You didn't catch your fifth?
No, we got the 5th.
Oh.
What does the 4 mean?
You killed one.
No, what does the 4 mean?
Fourth quarter?
The 4 is the number of props we've been through this year on tidal fisheries.
Stop.
What is going on?
What'd you do?
The last 2 didn't even feel them. Didn't even know.
Did you smoke a log?
No, must have. Last fin went.
Is there like something wrong with this kid's engine? That it's like
just blowing,
twisting props up? Like,
I have no idea. No. The last 3 were entirely his fault. He hit the Mattawoman rock vein at 70 miles an hour.
How do you even do that?
He said, "Oh, it's high tide."
You'll get that.
He'll get there.
This kid's is basically where we're at.
He's learning. He's learning the hard way, but learning. No, this last one, actually, quick question for the chat. Do you think? Well, the group, we don't have a chat, but for the bums, can you bend a prop by cavitating, by just going airborne? Do you think there's enough force right there to bend a?
You can what's it called? Spin your hub, I think.
You can definitely spin the
big
hub.
risk, but I don't know about.
I don't think you could bend a blade. I think you have to hit something. Because it's a reworked prop.
Yeah, and he's not even throwing like a trophy because I know the trophies throw blades a lot.
Well, I mean, if it was weekly reworked,
that's what I'm thinking.
That's
what it
the
seems
same
like.
Way?
I think so. Yeah.
I
would lean towards that.
That's what I'm thinking because he cavitated one time.
Anything?
We really didn't feel anything. Actually, twice this year, we didn't really even feel anything.
You might have hit something down low on the bottom. Or
I think there's just a submerged floater that he just didn't see. I think that's just the name of the game, especially when 3 floodgates were open on the Conowingo.
I mean, if it's bent in the same spot, it makes me feel a little weird about it. But
I know that's what I'm saying. It feels really weird.
I don't know.
So the bay's been fishing fun lately, huh?
It's been fishing awesome, actually.
For everyone
when there
else.
isn't no, it's been fishing awesome. But when there's I have never experienced being on the bank or 50 yards from the bank of the direction of the wind and seeing 2-footers form. I've never seen that. There was there was 40-mile-an-hour gusts. Back channel had 2-footers on it.
And they let you go.
Oh, actually, speaking of Zub having horrible luck with tournaments, this is where we're starting. So I fished the Susquehanna Fishing Tackle SummerSlam this past weekend. First of all, this is not a dig at Susquehanna Fishing Tackle, but it's going to be a little bit because it's going to be an honest opinion. You know how I like voicing my honest opinion here. Great shop, great products. I use a lot of Shimano, love Shimano. Make great stuff. No, corms or crawls there. My issue is how the tournament this week was managed. because it wasn't great. Now, Anchor Marine, for all we know, I don't care if I say this, Anchor Marine is a clusterfuck. That place is a horrible environment for a tournament. I understand that's where you have to have the tournament.
Wait,
that's
time out. Why did you say Shimano?
Because Shimano sponsors the tournament.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the way you go in the tournament is like you buy $250 worth of Shimano.
Yeah, but are they the tournament staff? I mean, what are they?
Pretty much. They have there's like a lot of Shimano people there.
Okay. Anyway.
So, no, don't want to anger the folks. Because I do enjoy the product. But no.
Same.
No. But go up. And you have, this was their largest one ever, which is maybe why they didn't cancel it. 200.
They had 200 boats?
They had 200 boats.
That's crazy.
Random draw for boat numbers. What boat number am I?
199.
No. For once, I'm boat 20. Awesome. Feels really good, right? We get there knowing just how it is. We got there at 3:30 and put in.
Yeah.
Still waited 45 minutes to get in when we were there at 3:30. Insanity, right? Boats still dumping in. Tournament on paper, on schedule, scheduled no matter what, takeoff tournament at 6 o'clock, right? What time did flight 1 begin to take off?
6:45.
6:47. What time were the flights adjusted to come back?
0.
0.
You guys really got screwed the first flights.
First flight lost like an hour of fishing.
Crazy.
Isn't that insane?
Just put. I mean, pushing it back really wouldn't have helped.
Why did it take that long to start?
I don't know. There were still boats going in, but they just didn't come out. No, they never even got on a boat to go out. They didn't walk out to the community dock till 6:45.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not worried about the boats putting in like too bad, buddy. Like
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's not my fault. That's like you know the situation here. You know how this operates. You know how this place works. Put your boat in the water. Get there. Go to a different ramp.
Back at the ramp, man. They need Freddie there.
Oh, Freddie was there. Don't you worry.
Freddie was there?
I think so. Was Freddie the old dude?
Huh?
Freddie's
the really old guy that smokes like a pack a day.
Yep. Oh yeah, Freddie. Oh, Freddie was there. All right.
Oh, I miss my boy Freddie. They fired him for a while there.
No,
I don't miss Freddie.
Love Freddie.
Anyway,
you got to be the only person in the world who loves Freddie.
Dude, he's the man.
I don't know the entire staff
on a
there.
Basis.
I'm just disappointed. Very disappointed in that. It kind of like totally altered our strat because we saw early. I'll be honest, we saw early boat number. We were going in the creek,
the Northeast Creek.
No, I'm serious because with the forecasted wind.
But you didn't, so.
Yeah, forecasted wind. Nobody went on the main flat apparently. Like it was so bad out there, nobody was there. There were 200 boats on back channel.
Oh God,
it was actually absurd. But no, like we figured that we could pull out a kicker retread from there, especially with the water coming in. Like it's set up good for that. And we said we just lost an hour of fishing time. We just got to get down there and run our good stuff because we had several patches of grass that felt really good out there. Right off the bat, caught a 3, caught 2 tubes, and then all of a sudden it just died. As soon as all the boats showed up, it was dead. They wouldn't eat anything. And then we started going through the shorts. We were throwing by the way, we didn't talk about this on the podcast. During Saturday, we had the most fun day ever out there. We caught upwards of 50 fish on anything we could have done. Had a great time. Like granted, didn't catch over 15 pounds. Had a great time doing literally everything. Remember how last little chat we were talking about the old big worm?
Mm-hmm.
I was catching 12-inch bass on like a 7.5-inch Gary, just bombing it out there. I was catching them on a frog. Like it was really good. I don't know why people said that. Well, I mean the weights were down. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I haven't seen results anywhere. What did it take?
What did it take? 200 boats. What did it take to win?
20.
25.
19.
Wow, that is a bad day.
What?
Under 20 to win.
That's what pisses me off because we actually.
I guess you're right. Nobody did fish on the big one.
That's the one guy that won fished out there.
No, I know the guy that won.
Was he in the? Tell me he was in the three fingers.
No, I saw him. Guy that won fished a spot on that back channel flat that I found at the end of the day, and we had spot A, spot B, and spot C. Fish spot A wasn't happening. Fish spot B wasn't happening. We said, okay, let's go run alternate pattern. Alternate pattern was actually awesome. I played wood, caught like a 4 and a 3 on wood in like the last hour. If we ran that the rest of the day, would have been able, like, we didn't knew that wasn't the winning pattern, but like, we figured 16, 17 would do very well based off the last results. And we figured that was something possible. Our plan was to get like between 13 and 15 on the grass and then hunt for one big one in the wood.
Well, you just said if my math is correctly, you've mentioned 1 4 and 2 3s, so you had to have at least 16, 17.
No, 1 4 and 1 3. We had 14.
You said you caught a 4 and a 3 off the wood, and then you said you caught a 3 when you first pulled up to your first spot.
No, I apologize. No, that was wrong. It was like a 2. It was like a 2.5. No, I only had a 1 4 and 1 3.
Still not bad though for the day.
We had 14. You know what I mean? But it's like,
where'd you end up then? Like 6.
They're not posted. Probably like top 200.
Top 200.
That's a good spot.
Yeah.
19 to sheesh.
Yeah, no. Like I said, guy that won was was on back channel. Just little, sometimes a wise man once said, sometimes you're 100 yards away from the right stuff.
Especially out there.
And you never know it. So
you could be on the right stuff, fishing next to the guy, and you can catch 20, and the guy next to you can catch nothing.
I bet you there were some guys who threw 19 back.
And just in
a 200 boat non-points tournament. I mean, I still would have because I always do just for the principle, but I would have thought about not weighing in.
No, it's like I don't know. I'm there for the whole experience. I wish I didn't weigh in because we were both 20. It still took us an hour to leave, and I watched a Triton get totaled by a ski boat.
Oh,
yeah, not great. It got pretty banged up from just like, I think they were trying to load it on the forklift at anchor and it was just in the way. Just
Jesus.
But no, like genuinely, grass looked awesome. Like we practiced on the main flat on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really get sniffed. Looks great. Everything looks perfect. The only issue was it was at a flood tide, so low is still 2 feet high.
Is it getting like topped out, you think, already?
Oh, yeah, it's topped out everywhere.
It was topped out in spots when I was there weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, no, like area that, well, it was probably going to be one at, like, I had a couple nice areas that I found last year out there.
Mm-hmm.
But the wind was blowing there all week. So not only was it 2 or 3 feet high on these locations, but it was also mud. There were logs and floaters everywhere. It was like 2 floaters. You couldn't even see it. You could see the grass beautifully. You're in like areas where, like that was like 6-7 feet deep on top of the grass at a high tide.
Jesus.
And just like there's logs in the middle of the water calling junk. I'm like, this is impossible to fish. Part of me wishes we could just ground it on the back channel or either that or ground it out on the wood. But the wood bite doesn't really come to play until high tide. And we didn't get a high tide until 1 o'clock.
You're doing in 30 minutes.
I mean, dude, the wind all year has been terrible.
Oh, it's
wind
crazy.
And rain has just not.
It just doesn't stop.
No.
It's still kind of blowing out today too.
Oh, not kinda. It was
ripping today.
There today.
I just want a nice, like, calm day.
I feel like I haven't had a single, like, dead slick day of fishing all year.
No, we were getting blown around. We couldn't like stay on the troll. We had to stay on the trolling motor on the back channel at all times to stay on the spot.
Jesus.
It was just, and that was the direction. The wind was direct west.
Oh. And you're up against the West Bank and still getting ripped around.
There was chop in Swan.
I saw on Instagram, Rich snapped his power pole in half.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were fishing right
Did you
next to
see-
him all day. I don't know how you did. Oh, here's the
Did you
other
see
thing.
his one little like camera guy posted a video on his on a story or something? The guy with a bass boat going across probably like Turkey Point or something, that area, and just getting beaten to death.
We didn't see one bass get caught in the back channel, and we fished there from 8 till like 11.
Oh,
Did not see, not 8 to 11, 7 to 11. Did not see one fish get caught. We caught 3 really quick, like 3 keepers, and then it just died.
I wonder how many guys like blanked or just weighed in like 1 or 2, or like had 1 or 2 fish out there.
No idea, but like,
I feel like
here's the thing.
field
So the wind didn't start up until later in the day. So I know a lot of guys did start out there. So when we got there, it wasn't bad yet. There was only like 20, 30 boats.
Yeah.
But we did like a quick side quest into Swan and then came back. And it was just mad heads at the function. Genuinely, though, Saturday was one of the most fun days I've had out there in a long time. I'm not like, we just went into areas and started like thinking that we didn't need fish. And we just went into areas that I haven't fished in years and just jacked them.
That's fun.
Interesting.
Like jacked them by like, just 2-pounders, but like doing fun stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like that's not always easy to come by out there.
No. I mean, we didn't think they were the right quality fish, so we just said the heck with. We just needed. We drove down. We left at 2 a.m. and fished on the bay from like 6:37 till 7:30 at night. So just to keep our sanity, we had to like do something like that to just make sure. Because at the end of the day, is that the most productive way to practice? Absolutely not. But I'm not a professional bass fisherman. I'm a working fisherman, and I gotta like
enjoy
my sanity. I got to keep my sanity somehow.
Yeah,
100%. Especially when it's not even points related for any kind of thing.
End of the day, though, was actually genuinely a blast. We just got into them kind of good playing in the. I'll say it, just playing wood. Just playing wood. Just everybody was bobbing in the grass. We just burned down the bank and just be jacking fish in front of people. Like they're never out there. They're never the quality of fish that you need to win. You know what I mean? Never. However, when you just want to show up with a decent limit, and especially in a situation like that, it's something you keep in your back pocket.
Yeah.
But no, I did do the 7-inch sank on the 7.7 extra heavy with the 25-pound fluoro.
Oh my god.
Oh, I sent a 12-incher 4 feet in the air.
So like every fish catch on the Sabine.
Yeah.
Oh, are we diving into that now?
We don't need to. I was just every one of them was
across the boat to the other side.
Take a moment to appreciate. Well, first of all, with the weather, like I'm sunburned right now, visibly, right?
Oh, yeah.
And like, I have to have the heater on right now.
Dude, I got the heater running in the basement right now.
Yeah, it's chilly.
It's like 50 out.
I hope it stays that way.
Dude, I want like 55 at night, 75 during the day.
I want it to be 50
again.
degrees and raining all weekend.
Oh, weekend. Why?
Yes.
Oh, it's your busy weekend.
I opened every single one of my pools this weekend, so I hope
Why
nobody goes.
Had to knock back my adjuster again, so we'll get an update on the nitro next week, maybe.
Yeah.
And there might be a chance of rain next week, Zub. I don't know if he's going to show up.
He calls me up. He's like, hey, he calls me up on this morning. He's like, hey, I might be in your area. Can you call off work tomorrow at like 2:00? I'm like, what? I was like, I'm not letting him look at that boat alone. I'm not letting him do it.
No.
Yeah.
Man, because I have to hide the holes where I ripped out my power poles, but like I actually plugged them up really good. You can't even tell. I plugged them up really nice.
Nice.
But yeah. No. I'm excited to get back down there for Ike. I'm hopefully gonna get down there maybe one more time beforehand. Because I don't know. I do like the place, but I am excited to get down there for the Schmeck and Lake Schmerb.
Brennan are definitely going to be down there at least one time before that. So
might put him my $500 to get boat 1. Just yak him in the creek.
Yeah, what is that all about? That's ridiculous.
I'm not gonna lie, don't like it, especially on a place like that.
That's so
really
dumb.
Don't like it.
That's so.
I mean, I get it. They could just raise an extra.
I get it for the fundraising option, but like maybe do like something else, like $500, and you get a signed Ike hat or something, or like you.
How about we like fundraise in a way that doesn't change the outcome of the tournament?
$500 and you guarantee you get a picture with the Make-A-Wish kid that gets your fishing rod. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
It's got to be something that isn't like just outright like, hey, pay, pay for an advantage. Yeah,
like that's straight up one place where a flight can make or break your tournament.
Yeah.
So like, and they could say, "Oh, everybody has the option," but like,
yeah, but no, everybody doesn't have the option.
No, like, I don't have 500 doubloons to give to this thing.
You guys didn't do it. Jared and I are both one.
Huh?
He's got that pest control money.
Oh, gotta be concerned. I gotta sign up still. I think there is a chance that I'm soloing this in the tracker. By the way.
Oh my god. Why George is backing out now?
He's like being weird.
So first he makes my schedule a living hell, and then he doesn't even come to the one event I see him a year.
Correct.
Me and George are going to have a long talk.
Oh, speaking of things that happened, I caught a hammer striper on the main flat.
Nice.
Freaking ripped the old swimming jig out of my hand. I thought I had him. I thought I landed on him. I bomb it out there in the freaking 80-mile-an-hour wind. Freaking go, freaking spool the reel. Freaking 30-pound braid. Freaking gone. And all of a sudden, I'm like, is that a little bit of chop behind the freaking 2-footer that was out there? Because I popped the swim jig and this thing comes out of the water.
That's crazy.
I thought of like a 5-pounder just freaking inhaled it from a distance. I'm like, oh, no, like 18-inch striper.
Dude, the stripers out there could be fun when you get like a school.
Did you just call a 18-inch striper a hammer striper?
Oh yeah, Oh, absolutely.
What, dude?
18 inches is a tiny.
I thought you were gonna say an 18-pounder.
Oh no.
Dude, I was catching 18 inches on my spinning rod out there.
check the group chat.
See the stripers they've been catching on Smith Malin.
Have you guys been watching that?
They catch like real stripers. Oh, dude, that's tiny.
I know.
I watched a little bit of it in the car on Sunday when we were driving back to Andy's and then to the airport. And I was appalled at how many spots I knew. I knew.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I know where he's fishing. Like,
yeah. No, 100%. I'm like, it's kind of nice. It's kind of cool to see.
Yeah. It was actually crazy.
All the same spots.
You know what else is actually crazy?
What?
This frog was like $22 and it's a piece of junk.
$22?
Why would you pay $22 for a frog? It's a jackal or something, isn't it?
No, the jackal frog is forever my king. I would die for my country. Jackal Gavacho frog. But no, this is the Depths Slither K.
It looks like any other frog.
Yeah, like
no, it looks like worse.
It has a feather too, little fur.
But like these are already falling. There's like a hook holder here. This is already falling out. Caught like 3 fish on it. Feels bad.
You need to just buy a normal frog.
You need to just buy. And that's it.
And just get 100 pack of them while you're at it. There you go.
I haven't cleaned the freaking shop in a second, and the place is actually in shambles.
We were just talking about that before you got on. Everything's a mess.
No. New favorite bait. Favorite bait is a Zoom brush hog. Actually, like
Zoom brush hog.
I think I'm just simplifying like life again. And
New
I caught so
favorite
many
bait
fish this
is the
week on a
old
brush hog.
favorite bait.
It was really fun. The amount of 2-pounders, like 13-inch 3-pounders actually, that absolutely annihilated
the brush
the
hog's
hog.
low key a staple out there.
Oh yeah, no, like
I would throw my secret color out there all the time.
hurt them.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, no, like last year I caught a couple good ones on a brush hog, and the only reason I caught them on a brush hog is because the dude right next to me was like creaming them on a brush hog. And I didn't have any in the boat. And you know what I had in the boat?
A lizard.
A pack of 15-year-old Christie critters. Wait, actually they're right here.
I know a lot of the big guns out there that make a living just dragging a brush hog.
Well,
it makes sense. It's just like dragging a jig, bunch of arms.
Still got it. I got like 2 left. Color's so weird. But
I was
like,
say, what is that color?
Don't even know, but they smell bad.
Well, before we get into other topics, Brennan, you got your butt kicked too, right?
Yeah, on the home pond. No, I was fishing with loyal subscriber, a very loyal subscriber. He took out my my neighbor or my parents' neighbor's kid out. He's 13 and he's getting into fishing, so it was fun. We had a good time. I mean, we caught some fish, just nothing big.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to get him his first fish on a boat, or I guess not first fish on a boat, but on a bass boat. So it was fun. Yeah, we messed around with his rod, showing him how to flip.
You should get $100 discount to the Ike tournament for that.
Right? Taking a kid fishing. It was fun. We had a good time. It's like practice for when I get a kid.
Is this your official announcement?
Don't say that.
No. We're a whiles away, but it's like my little mini me in the making. It's protege number 1, and then my kids will be, the next version.
Protege number 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to fish with Uncle Al.
Speaking of official announcements, actually, I have to.
Oh shit! You got a girlfriend? No.
I have to make a couple official announcements to you guys off air, but.
Oh.
No, it's not that. Hopefully. Yeah, Zub, we can talk about that.
No, I've actually changed my mind.
Oh, you sure?
I changed my mind.
What you wrote in the chat? You don't want to talk about?
No, we're not going to talk about anything involving Elastec. Shout out Z-Man. No.
How is that possible?
I think if you just throw a rubber jig at everything, life just is a lot simpler and things just happen. And that's what I'm going to go with.
I mean, I think that just proves assumption.
Throw the damn jig.
No.
It proves the North sucks and the South rules.
It confirms net worth based assumbers.
Net worth.
I don't know.
I feel like it's more. I don't know about net worth. I think
how else?
I think it's we're just not cool here fishing. I feel like it's just the.
I think it's aura.
Aura.
I think it's purely aura. I mean, look at
everyone watching this right now is going, "What are they talking about?"
Yeah, this is like some of the worst podcasting of all time.
Yeah.
But I mean, Zub's idea to talk about it, so you could just say what it is.
Yeah, no, I'll say what it is. It's like good things happen when you throw a jig, and our loyal podcast subscribers should know what we're talking about, and that's all we're going to say about that.
All right.
Do we have any bassin topics? Any actual bassin topics?
I could talk a lot about bassin.
I was in Florida all weekend and never picked up a rod, so
it happens.
That's about as sad as it gets.
Well, Al, you're the question guy.
Pure pain and suffering.
What is Anyone getting out for Memorial Day weekend fishing? I know you're not.
Are you just like taking out the trash in the middle of a podcast? What's?
No, laptop's gonna die. I had to go to the outlet.
Do you not have an outlet on where you normally sit?
No, it's usually charged up enough for I have an extension cord, but I brought my extension cord and it's not hooked up yet.
He has to go, travel to another location to film a podcast for some reason. So
yeah, currently laptop's on air conditioner.
There you go.
But no, I mean, Al, do you have any pondering Bassin thoughts that have just been really scratching your brain lately? Oh, can you show the class what you bought today, actually?
Oh, I don't have it like readily available. What
did you buy, Al?
I can go get it if you guys can filibuster for 30 seconds.
All right. So on today's episode of Zub Talks Bass, we're going to talk about Alex Johnson's secret waypoints. And he's gone. So Brennan, what's up? How you doing?
Oh, we just chilling. We got the house done, or not done. But we're gonna be moving in this week. So next week, I will actually be able to film Bums Talk Bass in my own office again.
The house with the office and a tackle room. And
the tackle
What's an essential for a tackle room?
It'll come together. What's essential?
Here, first of all, tackle. Do you know what kind of tackle Al's running to get right now? Do you know what he's getting?
I thought it was the stuff that he just showed me 5 seconds before you got on.
No. So anyway, we're going to go through some staples of the plastics I thought were going to be important to me on the day of this week. We have the Zoom Baby Brush Hog. What the exact opposite of the Zoom Baby Brush Hog is what's about to be put on camera. We also have the 7-inch Zoom Fluke. Shout out Zoom. And on the total opposite end of the spectrum of whatever the fuck is about to appear in the corner of your screen is the Christie Critic, another solid staple. Now, what are you going to show the class, Alex, on showing?
Has Zub just been listing generic baits the entire time I was gone? Is that?
Yes and no. Sounds like you got a big creature.
Urchin.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Is it just one in there? That's it?
Yep.
That's crazy.
One for $20.
Oh my god.
I'm holding soft plastic baits that I spent $40 on.
We need to start figuring out a way to pour this kind of stuff. We need to make a mold.
So take them out. Here's the question: how many bass off one quake ball?
The claims are that they hold up incredibly well.
I mean, it's not like it's a Senko where there's a lot, it could break easily in the middle, It's very dense middle, and that's it, really.
Okay. I see what people are talking about now. The middle of this is not this ball is not soft plastic material at all.
Is it hard?
It's like a bouncy ball.
I was going to say, is it like a bouncy ball?
How are they hooking it then? Are they just stabbing it?
There's a lot of different ways. How I was thinking about doing it in my head, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, or if it matters. I had an idea of maybe threading a hitchhiker into it, and then threading a Nico or a Wacky style hook through the loop of said hitchhiker to.
I feel like that's how it goes away forever, though, unless the barb is going to catch it.
What do you mean?
Rip off when you catch a fish.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's an easy way for it to rip off.
Well, how do guys end up hooking it to keep it on?
No, I mean you bury it you twist the hitchhiker all the way into it.
Oh, so and then you just get
plastic through hitchhiker, then plastic.
I would think maybe thread the hitchhiker with super glue, dab the hitchhiker in super glue first before you twist it in, maybe.
Also not a bad idea. I can't figure out how to take this thing off of this.
Here, just mail it to me and I'll do it for you.
Oh, good idea.
So what's the brand again? What is it called?
Hide
Up.
How long did that take to come in?
The package says, "Bring the million bites to you."
So you're guaranteed at least 1 million bites out of it. That's good.
Yeah, I mean that's
longevity.
That's
my favorite thing to do
guarantee, right?
Oh, shit. I
Are
also
there
have a really
instructions
cool
on how to take this off of this? I mean, I don't want to like break it. Like,
first cast, a Sunny's gonna peck it and it's gonna fall off.
Should I go intermission and get my cool Japanese bait that came in this week?
Oh, jeez.
Go for it.
It's not that deep. I'll talk about it more when the time comes because I might get lost in there.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
Well, you figure that out.
We are doing some of the worst podcasting of all time.
Yeah. I ended up getting the slick bait in this week. I found one of those. Have you seen that, Al?
The what?
The slick bait by Jackal?
No. Oh, is that the one that goes up against a wall?
Yeah.
Mm.
Where are you gonna throw that at?
Harv. I don't know. Anywhere where the alewife are gonna spawn.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Are we
Where
free?
she be?
Okay.
How strong do those appendages feel?
Not as strong as the middle,
Yeah.
but
you know what you should do? For the viewers, you should cut it in half.
Plastic. What?
For the viewers, you should cut it in half so we can like see what's going on.
No.
Or like melt it and just like compare it with other plastics. Like really, come on, just like break it apart.
Come on, let's do some experiments with it.
Let's do a torture test.
No.
How's it taste?
Instead, I'm gonna put it in my boat to sit there forever.
You might throw it once.
We're throwing it on Lake X as soon as you get there next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You're gonna throw that on the bay.
And I've already thought about it, and I was like, "This is so dumb," because I'm gonna spend $20 on this lure to only throw it at Lake X.
You might be able. I mean, they throw it everywhere else.
I do think there are some legitimate applications.
I mean, anywhere you would throw a Senko, you could throw that. I feel like, and it will be maybe not everywhere. But.
I'm going to explore. There will be some exploration going on.
Folks,
sorry.
What?
Sorry.
I watched him load up on that one.
Jeez.
That
was a tough day at the ball crushing factory.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely feel. I'm sure a lot of people don't, but I do see a marginal application difference between this and like dice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
Like we talked about before, I have unlocked a bite with dice. I think the dice is like a situation based thing that, well, I know a lot of people throw it in different ways, but I feel as though this has like more of like a, and I don't know why I think this, but I think this has more of like a, like, probably because of just the size and the fishability is a little easier than like the dice. Like you could actually kind of like cast this thing.
Yeah, it's got a little weight behind
just
it.
kind of like throw this around in a lot of different like regular scoping situations.
Yeah, it'll sit down there quicker
and get bit. Like compared to like the dice is kind of tough with certain things. I don't know how everybody uses it. I tend to use the dice in more of a shallower water application, whereas I feel like I could stretch this a little deeper. But
yeah,
I don't know. I've heard a lot of guys say that they use this for bed fishing.
That makes sense.
Which I think is kind of crazy because
I feel like it kind of would stick off the bed a little bit better.
Yeah, I just feel like you could catch them other ways on a bed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But I've heard of alleged instances where they will not bite anything and then they demolish this on a bed. Particularly smallmouth, which I find weird to begin with because I never have a problem catching smallmouth on a bed, but I don't know, maybe pressured places or something. I don't know. But so I've heard.
Tell you what, we missed the bed fishing in Jersey big time.
No, we didn't miss it.
Not all areas, but like Hapakong, all that stuff, they're gone.
Yeah. I mean,
Spawn.
Right before I left, I don't know if we talked about it on the pod.
Full moon.
Well, yeah, but I caught like a billion smallmouth on beds before. I think we did.
No, we were talking about that.
Oh, yeah. You were at,
Yeah. But, yeah, because I was talking about whether or not you should be scoping while they're still on beds anyway. But
yeah.
Right. In other news, did we talk about the Jake Wheeler, Jake Lawrence photo finish?
We did.
We did.
We did.
We did.
Oh.
I was gonna say I thought we did. That was awesome. It even got a John Boy video. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No.
Yeah, John Boy did a breakdown of the the last 7 minutes of the MLF tournament. What?
Oh,
what did you just say?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I'm gonna need you to turn in your Yankees cap.
I watched a game all year. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah, that makes sense. Fake fan. Classic fake fan. Yeah, I'm not even gonna explain it. I'm not gonna.
You gotta explain it. Because what about for our loyal followers if they want to watch the video?
What happens if they're Mets fans?
Yeah, what if they're Mets fans? God, Alex.
Gotta be inclusive.
Well, John Boy's a Yankees guy.
Okay.
He does baseball videos and like breakdowns of like baseball events, and just like randomly did one about bass fishing.
Putting fishing on the map.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the Lake Fork got so many viewers.
But he's like very big in like sports. Like he's got his own company. It's like a Barstool type of thing, I guess.
Because I briefly have heard of him. I just didn't know the specifics.
No, you didn't. No,
I genuinely have.
No.
Like, you know what? It rings a bell now.
It does ring a bell.
Kind of like how he caught those 2-3 pounders. That was only one.
Well, you know,
it was like a 2.7.
Catches a 5-pounder. We're on a 25-pound bag.
Well, that's correct.
Yeah, that's how
you
catch
one 5-pounder. You're on a 25.
I caught one. I was on like 20 pounds all week. I caught one 5-pounder.
Zoom called me.
I only caught a 4-pounder, but that means I'm on 20 pounds.
When he was practicing Saturday, he was like, "Dude, we're on a 25-pound bag." I was like, so you caught a 5-pounder?
Zub on Saturday, we're on a 25-pound bag after the tournament. Yeah, we caught a ton of fish on Saturday. Nothing over like 2 pounds, though.
Yeah.
When did I say I was on a 25-pound bag?
You told me you're on a 25-pound bag, and I was like, "Oh, so
no, Brennan, it was horrible." I never said in a serious tone that I was on a 25-pound bag.
Sounds like, I mean, listen, not going to say nothing, but sounds like something in Zub's repertoire.
No, that would never be the case.
Truth anymore.
That would be impossible.
Just saying. Just saying. Yeah, I guess now that we're done with our schlappetizer. Listen.
Shout out Pat Schlapper.
Listen, I might have been like 4 tournaments late or too early. Okay, I might have been 4 tournaments too early. But I'm gonna count this as a win for me. I had 700 points in fantasy. Brandon Polinick blanked, but a Pat Schlapper win is a win for me.
When Pat Schlapper wins, America wins.
When the Schlapp Daddy gets in there and just gives it to him. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't pick Pat Schlapper. I did mean what I said about the Classic, as in I thought he was trending upwards and was going to have a good season and might have a good tournament. I have been horribly wrong about that up until this point.
Al, in the last episode, a loyal follower actually said that you said you would not be picking Pat Schlapper for the rest of the season.
I did.
You did say that.
I did.
If Pat Schlapper was watching right now, what would you say to him?
I would say, I'm sorry, my sweet prince. I should have never
Do you think? Go ahead, bud.
If I would have guessed the tournament Pat Schlapper was going to eventually win,
not this
wouldn't
one.
have guessed Sabine.
I would have guessed Mississippi.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
I mean, that makes sense based on where he's from, but
his style too.
Not if you've. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I feel like the past few times I've seen him in a tournament where he was doing good enough to be on camera. He's been scoping. Like, he's actually a pretty good scoper, which is why I kind of thought he had a chance to potentially fish in a style similar to like what Easton did.
Right.
I don't know if he did in that tournament or not, but he didn't execute. That was my thinking. I didn't think he was going to be winning with 38 pounds for 4 days in 2 feet of water with a big, stupid, well, not even big, just a jig and a buzzbait.
Well, how did that feel to watch guys just throwing jigs and buzzbaits and Senkos, spinner baits?
Listen, not that this should come as a surprise because this is what happens with every single bass fishing tournament ever nowadays. But there was a lot of negativity online. I love a grinder.
Dude,
I absolutely love
to see them suffer a little bit.
And I do actually think that most of the negativity was like from the anglers themselves. Like, I think most of the viewers were fine with it. Like, I don't know. It's just like, dude, I can't. What do people want?
Oh, I agree.
Because everybody was bitching about, Fork is a scope fest. Oh, there's. I legitimately heard people say, Andre, they're catching too many big fish. It's boring.
Yeah, he did say that.
What? But okay. Cool.
I mean,
people say that. Oh, I don't want to see him shake a minnow. I don't want to see him catch 40 pounds on a minnow. And then the next week, they're only catching 1.5 pound fish. This tournament's stupid. Pick one, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what do you?
We want to see them catch 15 pounds throwing a jig. That's it. They want a happy in between.
I mean, you got what you asked for.
I kind of enjoyed it. I could believe it, but just Koya.
He's
like hot. How versatile. Even Taku Kaku came out of the show. Kenta had a disappointing tournament. I switched him out at the last minute because I wasn't confident. I'm sorry, because I'm a fan of him. But just the versatility of the Japanese anglers. What?
Kenta made the cut.
Did he?
Yeah, he had a shit first day. He had a great second day.
Oh, okay. I didn't see him as
40 something, I think.
I mean, I ended up picking Weatherall because he did well last year. He got like 47th.
They're probably right next to each other on the leaderboard.
Yeah. I should have seen Shryock and Bill Lowen having a good derb though. Those Ohio River guys, I could have seen that. You know, I should have seen that.
But I mean, when we were talking before about like just setting the hook and pulling fish into the boat, some of those Koya fish catches were laugh out loud hysterical. Like, on a spinning rod with a little stick worm, just right in the boat. Like,
it was fun to watch, though.
And I mean, there was a lot of like cool moments and cool catches and drama and stuff, like the Carl Jochimson through the fence fish.
Oh yeah.
Which, by the way, I have a question about.
Is that legal?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Didn't Scott Martin get DQ'd for doing the same thing?
Did he?
Years.
Oh yeah, at the Harris chain, right?
I think it was somewhere in Florida.
He was firing it over
a fence into a canal.
Yeah.
And they said since you can't access that by a boat, it's not tournament waters, and he got his weight for the day DQ'd. Or something.
I remember that now.
Yeah. So what is that? I think that's a dumb rule because I thought that was a cool fish catch, and you like to see it. I thought it was dumb when Scott got in trouble for it in the first place because, like, if you can cast to it, you can cast to it.
Yeah.
Why does the boat have to physically be able to get there? Like,
there's a lot of places I cast to that the boat physically can't get in, but my bait can.
I didn't understand that when it happened, but it is something that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, that 100% happened.
So I don't understand how that Carl Jochimson fish catch is any better. If anything,
it's more.
It appears as though it's worse because there was a large
barrier
fence.
Yeah,
very clearly don't want you in there.
Yeah. And then the Koya cast, I guess he was just sitting on the other side of the wall or whatever, but the Koya casting over the wall one. I don't know if you saw that. But I don't know. I didn't catch every second of live like I usually like to on a Bassmaster event because I was in my Florida pandemonium with everything going on. But I saw enough of it to say it was pretty cool. I mean, Schlapper catching that nice one on a buzzbait on the last day, that's sick.
Oh, yeah.
Right over the little log.
Yeah.
Knew it was coming.
That was awesome.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, I don't know. If you can find it in you to complain about shaking a minnow for 10 pounders and then complain about a tournament that gets won throwing a jig and a buzzbait, you can't.
Two opposite ends of the spectrum, and no one's happy.
But no, you're right, though. A lot of this was genuinely attacks more from the anglers that seemed pissed off.
Yeah, a buzzbait's the coolest. A buzzbait's the coolest bait, ever.
I think I watched shout out Jacob Fouts, but I think I watched a Jacob Fouts crash out every day on Instagram before the tournament.
He was well in the category of people I was talking about, where I was I think it's just the anglers complaining about it.
Yeah.
Speaking of anglers complaining, I did see some Jordan Lee complaining, and this is completely off topic, but I was thinking about this. Do you see that video he made that a bunch of people reposted where he was when I'm fishing a tournament and I'm out on the water, if you're what do you got?
What'd he say?
So he posted a video saying oh, if we're in a tournament and we're fishing and you come past me, don't ask me what I got. And I'm like, that seems a little fucking hardo. Like,
yeah.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I do that every time I pass anybody.
Yeah. What you got? Because they're gonna lie to you half the time, anyways. It's just for fun.
Yeah, but I don't even get that. Like, I don't know. Like, Nicholas came past me in the tournament the other weekend. And he said, "What do you got?" And I said, "I got 3 small ones," because at the time I had 3 small ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know what people ask me all the time what I have, and I just tell them. Like, I don't know why. Like.
Is it just an elite thing? Like they get pissed off?
Maybe it's different at that level. I don't know.
That just seemed like such like a hardo tough guy. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is about it, that particularly, but it made me very angry.
Well, here's a wild little thing. Here's actually a really wild thing. Totally off topic. Doesn't matter all that much. You notice what the biggest sale in like fishing is right now? And like, here's the thing. I'm a giant Jordan Lee fan. I think he's a phenomenal angler. All around good dude. Shout out Jordan Lee. I like Jordan Lee a lot. I see where he's coming from on that standpoint. Like if he's competing at that high of a level, he doesn't want people saying that to run his stuff later. I get that. Same time, I know where he's coming from. It's like it's 50-50. It's a toss-up. But anyway, buy 1, get 2 free Jordan Lee rods and reels on Tackle Warehouse.
Buy 1, get 2 free?
Buy 1 rod, get 2 rods free. Buy 1 reel, get 2 reels free.
Oof.
Me and Ryan had an argument about this weekend where Ryan said, "Do you think Jordan Lee actually uses the Jordan Lee combos?"
Can't you tell on his deck?
Yeah, no, he does.
Yeah.
There's a video of him fishing the MLF heavy hitters, catching all of his fish on his frog combo.
Yeah, to which I said, yeah, he does. Like, you can see him.
Yeah.
And Ryan, Andre, and Andy all unanimously were like, "You're an idiot. Of course he doesn't."
What do they think that he gets like other rods and wraps them in his?
That's what I said. Do you like? What, are you taking NRXs and having them custom wrapped to look like the
That's too much work. That's too much.
For Jordan Lee style of fishing, like it doesn't matter if you have an NRX or a Jordan Lee Abu twig. You know what I mean?
I mean, Matt Robertson throws an ugly stick.
Matt Robertson throws a $300 glide bait on an ugly stick catfish rod.
Yeah, I mean, not that his,
but that's not working out well for him this year.
Yeah, not that his points are great, but
he's still a pro doing it at a pro level though. So at least,
yeah, but I don't know.
He probably makes more money off that ugly stick promo than he has in the last 3 years of tournaments.
Yeah,
more power to him. If I had an ugly,
definitely more power to him. Actually, okay. I'm sorry. I just like speaking of like I just went on his Instagram to see if he posts a lot of YouTube videos. Here's just a fish getting smoked at the Sabine.
Yep.
Well, was Jordan Lee also the one who posted the video of him going by one of the big cargo ships or like tankers saying we shouldn't be fishing on a place that these are? It was him or Jacob Fouts?
It was Fouts.
Oh, okay. But they love the St. Lawrence. I was thinking that too.
Hey, check that out on his deck. My thumb's blocking it, but we can see a TK on the old Jay Lee deck. But let's see what his rods he's throwing, actually. Let's confirm it right now, because they're the same ones in all of his YouTube videos. I don't know if there's a new generation of Jay Lee rods.
Maybe that's what's some new generations coming.
Bro.
Maybe, because they're all black.
No way.
What?
I just saw your Snapchat and did some research.
About the previous conversation about flipping a greenfish tackle jig.
I'm going to throw up.
Why do you think it had to be a podcast conversation?
I'm going to throw up.
Oh, you just saw that?
You just saw that? You didn't know? That's
you
why
didn't realize what?
I knew what we were talking about because Zub said it to me before, but I hadn't actually seen it.
Oh yeah, you missed. It's crazy. I saw that the other day.
Aura.
What the?
Aura.
I think this is the end of it for me.
There was no hope for you in that department anyway. All you know is quick ball. Quick ball and
Alex,
I'm
Alex being upset about it, so just very upset.
I had a battle of epic proportions with one of those this weekend, but that's another off-air conversation.
Okay, looking at it now, Jay Lee only running Abu Garcia Fantastistas.
So not Jordan Lee rods.
We're not running his rods anymore. Guys like the Fantastistas a lot. That's their high end. They're $350 a pop.
Nice.
But yeah, that's definitely what he's running.
All right, well,
there you have it.
Not running his rods since.
I just remember that frog tournament.
Oh, so do I. Like, everybody remembers that frog tournament. You know what I kind of like? This is actually a gripe I have, and I want to know your take on it. All the Abu Berkeley guys, right?
Yeah.
With the drag clicker on their casting reels.
Oh, geez. The John Cox spinnerbait fish catch with the clicker on it. Yeah.
All of them. Even John Cox on Wheeler last year, smoking him on a frog, sounded like his reel just went through the freaking washing machine.
If it was on a reel I would actually use, I think I would like it. Because due to the fact that I can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
No, I'm saying on a normal baitcaster.
Oh.
Due to the fact that you can't hear the drag, I just don't use it. Because I don't know.
It feels weird on a baitcaster to have the drag.
I don't have any concept of like if my drag is loose and I'm fighting a fish on a baitcaster, I don't realize when it's coming out. Like, I have no idea.
It just feels wrong on a baitcaster.
I don't feel it. So I don't know what you guys do. I don't know if I'm crazy for this. I've always assumed that everybody does this, but I guess I don't know at all. On every single baitcaster I own, my drag is just locked all the way down to the max, and I just use the button if I feel like I need to.
Oh yeah, mine's cranked. I don't know the last time I've really used the drag unless I accidentally didn't crank it down.
Yeah, I have never once in my entire life on purpose used the drag on a bait casting reel.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
if it had a clicker, I think I would.
I don't know. It doesn't feel
for certain things. Like, I don't understand why he's got his drag clicking, throwing a spinnerbait like 4 feet away from the boat. Like, you should be throwing at least 16, 17 pound test. Doing that. Yeah. Like, I don't understand why there's any drag slippage in that situation. But like,
if I'm throwing like a jerk
throwing a jerk bait, I would definitely use that.
Like, I don't know. The only situations that I don't have my drag absolutely cinched to the max is jerking and like some cranking situations. And that's
even jerking.
I feel like anything else I could just.
I have it to the max. I just feather the button a lot.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. I'd rather thumb them. I think like being able to thumb a fish is a pure advantage.
I feel very in control doing it. Like,
absolutely. When you feel in control of the situation. I mean, if you're, intro level or like, just trying to figure out how to fight fish still, and that's not a dig. That's like a genuine thing. Like, if you don't have the confidence in it, then maybe it's useful. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of boat confidence in it. You don't want to freaking hook a 4-pounder and just open up your bail and just spool your fucking self. You know
okay.
That's what I meant. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
To our listeners, we're not shaming you if you would think this is a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would be interested in trying it out on
like, a Shimano.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'd try it for some applications, like jerk baiting, maybe if it was on a reel I would actually use.
Yeah, not a. I don't know. I feel like even when I thumb it, it's very, very not often. I feel like most of the time, like on a baitcaster, I feel like my rod could just absorb any kind of the runs and normally can like wrench them back in enough.
If I'm throwing a jerk bait,
I feel like it's a jerk bait. That's about it.
If I'm throwing a jerk bait and the fish is over 2 pounds, there's almost a 100% guarantee I'm tapping the button at least once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crankbait, 50-50. So, like, I would say the size goes up slightly on a crankbait, like, to anything over 3 pounds is probably getting the button. But, outside of that,
dude, we're wrenching them in, and they give a couple runs. I feel like
because it's like I'm not worried about the rod or the line, really. Like,
and the
I'm rarely throwing anything below 12-pound test on a baitcaster, so like I'm not worried about the line with that. I'm more worried about the hooks.
Yeah.
Like, like if you have like thinner hooks on a jerkbait that could bend, or just like, a lot of different treble hooks. Like if you have them hooked on the outside of the face or hooked in like a softer spot, you don't want to pull on them too hard and have it rip out.
Yeah.
No.
So it's kind of a different situation, whereas like drag with a spinning reel, a lot of the application for that is me actually worried about the line. Like I have a decent single hook that I don't think is going to bend out, but I'm fighting him on 6-pound test. So I don't want to like just yank him to the boat. Like I feel like it's two different things.
I feel maybe it's just the clicker, but I'm just feeling like, I don't know. I throw like 8-pound tests, like we were saying last time, on my spinning reels all the time. But even that, I'm like not really worried about it breaking. I feel like it is just the clicker. It just gives me like a peace of mind that it's doing its job.
Yeah. Other quick take on that.
I don't know.
We noticed a trend in fishing now where people don't fight fish on spinning reels anymore and just reel as fast as possible with light drag. Does anybody else see that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about,
Al? Yes. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't understand how people do that.
No, like it just seems like they have their drag on like a loose enough setting, and then just like I don't know.
There's so many people are doing that. It's just the drag's going the entire time.
Your time.
The whole time.
That video I sent you guys, did you see that about the line twist though when you're doing that?
No.
You're throwing braid.
Yeah, but braid still gets line twist. I mean, it still gets line twist. Because the thing is, when you're spinning it, in the video, the guy was comparing like, just reeling it in normally versus when you're doing it with the drag and you're just spinning and you let go, like that line gets so twisted up because it's spinning, but it's not going anywhere. So it just gets twisted all up.
I also feel like pros might even change their braid before every tournament, some of them. So like they don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I definitely don't do that, but I've seen it.
I don't do that.
I've seen it enough that I've had thoughts to myself of like, is that what I'm supposed to be doing?
I think it's like, well, guys, like people that do it are like the one person that comes to, well, two people come to mind, Drew, Gill, and Koya do it heavily.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when they do it, they're scoping.
Yeah.
They scope with beefy line.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I feel like maybe in that situation, it makes sense. Like if you're like scoping with 15, just hit them.
Dude, I don't
know.
But are they using 15 fluorocarbon?
Bro.
Or are they using like 15-pound braid, are you saying?
No, 15 fluoro.
Liter.
Yeah, 15 liter.
I believe it was Drew Gill. I'm pretty sure it was Drew Gill. Don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Drew Gill. I saw a video of him saying that he runs, so when he's scoping, he almost exclusively runs leaders 15 pounds and up.
Yeah.
And
Crazy.
only ties a 2-foot leader.
Yeah, that's the same thing. That's exactly how Koya fishes. Exactly.
That's weird. It works.
Crazy.
Like, that doesn't make sense to me, but
I feel like I've been trending towards making my leaders longer and longer.
I'm going to say do the complete opposite, lighter and longer. Like, here, let me put 6-pound test in a 10-foot leader or 20-foot.
I do tend to go heavier than the average guy. I'm definitely not I'm not doing a 2-foot 17-pound leader for scoping, but I'm never going less than 10. Most of the time I'm doing 12. And I mean, I use a pretty long leader, like probably 10 to 12 feet. But usually 10 to 12 feet of 12-pound. I'm not really. I mean, it's a single hook. A lot of times it's a beefy hook. Sometimes it's not, but a lot of times it is. And I'm not really comfortable cracking them that hard on anything less than 10. I've had, when I first started doing it, I was running 8 because I was under the impression that you had to use light line for an open water strategy like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just broke a ton of fish off. I just had it happen all the time. So now I kind of lean maybe I can get away with heavier than I think, because clearly some guys do. But I lean towards throwing what I feel like is the heaviest I can get away with. And most of the time in my head, I feel like the heaviest I can get away with is 12. That's kind of my sweet spot where I run into with a lot. I would say not just scoping, like scoping for sure, but I'd say 75% of my spinning rod based applications get 12-pound leader.
Yeah.
I'll go lighter sometimes on some drop shot stuff, or a spy bait or a hair jig, or something ultra finessey. Maybe on a little tiny Ned rig, I'll do 8. But if I'm throwing a Senko, it's getting 12. If I'm throwing a tube, it's getting 12. If I'm throwing a jig head minnow, it's getting 12. If I'm throwing a shaky head, it's getting 12. If I'm throwing a Nico rig, it's getting 10 or 12.
I'm just 8 all around.
That's just crazy.
That's crazy.
That's just crazy. That's so insane. Crazy. And the fact that you say that you don't break off is even crazier to me. If I dude, if I tried doing what you did that one day on the flat with 8-pound test, I would lose every single fish. I would lose all of them. 100% guarantee I would lose all of them. A lot of times I'm throwing 12 out there and I'm not even comfortable with that.
Dude, even when we were at Ticonderoga, I was just straight 8.
That's crazy. When we were in Ticonderoga, I was 14.
Yeah. And I think you snapped one off, right?
Yeah.
So
I did.
crazy.
But I think that was more of a product of catching 45 fish without retying than anything else. I mean, that's really the biggest thing I feel with any line is you just got to retie a lot. The smaller your line, the more often you have to retie.
And that's what I've gotten better at over the previous couple of years, has been retying pretty consistently. And dude, I feel like that's made a big difference. Just all
that was something I didn't really figure out until 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's so integral. so many, like I'm checking my line like definitely after every fish.
Yeah.
But in general, like even without catching a fish, I'm checking it like every 10 casts.
Yeah.
Every time I get like stuck on something for like half a second, like I'm checking it, and it's
you drag it over a docket by accident.
It's mind blowing how many times you check your line after like seemingly nothing happened.
Yo.
And you're like, oh, geez. And a lot of times, you know, even if you do have nicks and stuff on your line, like you'll hook a fish and you'll still land it.
Yeah.
You'll be like, phew, I got away with that one. But then you wonder, like, those times when you break off, like, I feel like the reality is that, like, probably 80 to 90% of the time you break off is because you had a nick in your line that you didn't know about.
Oh, yeah. Because you could get a nick, you know, you have a 10-foot leader, you can get a nick 6 feet up and you're not really checking that spot.
Yeah, like the actual pound test of your line just snapping, I feel like is a very rare thing.
Yeah. But I feel like, you know, you throw that heavier line because when you have that nick, you just have more strength when you after you
yeah, well that's exactly the point, is like I will throw 8 for certain applications, but if I'm throwing an 8-pound test, I'm retying constantly.
Yeah.
If I'm throwing like a 12, I'm still checking it all the time, but I'm not retying. Like with 8, I'm just retying for no reason. Like I'll feel the line and everything is fine, and I'll just be like, I need a fresh knot. Like with 12, I'll let it go for a while, because like, you know, you get a little scrape on 12, well now you have 8. You know, like
exactly, yeah. That's my thought process on it.
I just try to use, because there are applications where you just want that thinner diameter for like its function. Not
oh, he's gone. This kid,
computer probably died. He's the biggest bum of all time, dude. It's mind blowing. He's
the reason the bums exist. The bum name exists.
He's an absolute liability.
He really is.
To this show.
It's biggest holdup.
Yeah, that's why I got to record at 11 p.m. on Mondays, and then he disappears.
Just, the kid's a mess.
He's quickly turning into my least favorite person.
Did he just write us? He did. What happened? Anyone that can't see at home, he is texting us saying, what happened? As if it's us. We kicked him out, clearly.
What happened? He's a moron. But anyway, what I was trying to say was, like, what I will do is throw something like this, which is a really expensive, unnecessary line. It's Cigar Gold.
Is that the leader one too?
Yeah. So, okay. Zoo, what we were talking about before you disappeared into the ether. There are certain applications, like I never want an 8-pound test for the 8-pound test. Like, obviously, I don't want my line to actually be weaker, but there are situations where you want it to be thinner, which is like where I'll throw a way too expensive line, because now I have 12-pound tests. That's the same diameter of the 8-pound test.
So you like the gold label? Because I'm always hunting for leader. I'm always
no, I actually don't like it. But all right. I like it for 12 and up. The like thin gold, like 8-pound gold label is too thin. It's so thin that it doesn't tie good knots.
Well, it's because you're using too thick a braid.
No, I'm not.
Using 6?
Let's start scoping with straight braid.
I'm not going to tell you on air what braid I'm using, but believe me when I tell you it's not too thick.
Why not? Why not? Why not let the Bumps Talk Bass universe know that? Come on now.
All right, I guess if you're an hour 20 into it, you can know.
Oh, you're using All Might. Yeah, gosh, that's not a secret anymore.
But
no, that has a lot of mixed opinions on it too.
It's not too thin.
No, then it's definitely not too thin.
And I'm not just talking about like to braid knots. I'm talking about like to lure knots.
Is that the sinking?
You can't even see the line on the hook, and you're like, this seems like
that's what All Might is, Zub.
No, they have a version now that isn't sinking.
I don't think that's true.
No, because they have one that's like it's a diameter change, and another one's like a sinking. It's weird.
I think it's under a different name.
Oh, then maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Either way, I want to get into that. That's another episode, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you definitely can't use it for everything.
No. Oh, absolutely not. No.
There's only really one thing you can use it for, but
yeah.
But anyway, so I will use like a 12-pound gold label because you can get a heavier pound test with a thinner diameter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if you're going to use a lighter pound test line anyway, I don't know. The 8 and lower gold label I have some pretty bad experiences with.
Well, let's keep it real though. If you're, using a thinner diameter, what's the point of going lighter if you have the same diameter?
Yeah, which is why I'm using 12.
Exactly, yeah.
But
do you know what that 12 offhand is the comparable size to off like a say normal line?
What do you call normal?
8. Well, like what's like compared to Vanish?
Compared to Vanish, I would say the 12-pound diameter is probably in between 8 and 10.
Okay.
Probably like a 9.
That makes sense.
Brennan, are you looking something up?
Yeah.
What's the diameter of 8-pound Vanish? I'm holding the gold label, so I can tell you right here. I just need to know the Vanish.
It's loading. Well,
Brennan is not Jamie, for any of those wondering.
8 pound, 5 millimeter point inches.
What?
For 8 pound is 1 inches.
All right. Brennan's talking on a potato. Did you hear what he said, Zoo?
Not at all.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Your connection is like really bad.
All right. Well, Vanish 8 pound is 0.01 inches.
That would be exactly what gold label 12 pound is.
And then 12 pound is 0.012.
Yeah. So this is 0.010. So it would be equal to 8 pound.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's 12. So yeah, I use that, but like if I'm throwing, and I don't know why, I can't tell you the reason. This is all just based on experience and like what has happened to me, like in comparison. I don't know why this is the case. This just is what it is. If I'm throwing like a Senko in the grass on 12 pound,
right,
I actually trust red label more than gold label.
I hate red label.
I throw red label a lot actually, but red label has a thicker diameter than the gold label, obviously. And even though it is the same pound test, like your abrasion resistance is going to be better with the thicker diameter line.
Yeah.
So like I'll throw this gold label 12 pound for like a lot of like deeper water or like open water applications. But if I'm fishing around docks or wood or heavy grass or stuff, I would rather use the red label because I actually want the diameter to be thicker. Like I'm less concerned with the fish seeing it which I'm honestly, I don't even know if I'm concerned with that at all, but that's a whole nother can of worms. But in those like shallower, heavier cover applications, I actually want my line to have a thicker diameter. Like I think a lot of the line talk, like people are always like, oh, like this line's better because it's a heavier pound test in a thinner diameter. But it's like your line being physically thinner is not always a good thing.
No, I mean, in certain applications, you want your line virtually invisible to let your lure have that natural fall. But, like, there comes a line.
I mean, I think,
okay,
like, people are looking at pound tests and line diameter and, like, oh, can the fish see it? Oh, is it strong enough to get the fish out of this, that, and the other? I think the most important thing, honestly, when picking a line is like
trust.
Well, that, but I'm talking about for like I think the most important thing is rate of fall. Like I'm looking at my line diameter. Like I care about my diameter more than like the pound test. Yeah. Like I'm choosing my line based on diameter and then figuring out the pound test after. Like the diameter matters more to me than the pound test number. Like as long as I know what pound test it is, I know how to fight the fish accordingly. You know what I mean? But I'm picking a line mainly for a diameter because I'm looking to achieve a certain rate of fall for a certain bait selection. You know, which is why I use 17-pound Vanish on a chatterbait because I want a nice, thick, floaty line.
Yup.
You know, I'm doing that on purpose. I'm not
because you necessarily need a 17-pound heavy. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not using Vanish in that situation to try to save a couple bucks. I'm using Vanish on purpose because it is thick, and I want it to be. You know, because it's also a thing where, right, a 17-pound Vanish is a thicker line, and you say, oh, well, why don't you just use like 20 and something else? Well, because a 17-pound Vanish casts smoother and further than a 20-pound test expensive line.
Yeah. And it just makes no difference on the strike.
So I'm trying to achieve that. Like, I'm not worried about the pound test difference from 17 to 20.
Yeah.
I'm not snapping that 20, and I'm also not snapping that 17. Neither of those things are happening. What I'm worried about is I have that diameter of the 20 that I like, but I have that castability of that 17. You know, it's not a wire. It's a limp, easy casting line, because that's another thing I want for a chatterbait. I want to be able to cast it 1,000,000 yards.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, like a lot of people, again, Andre, get on me sometimes for doing things like using Berkeley Vanish, and it's like, oh, you're using cheap-ass line, you're trying to save $10. Anybody who knows me knows I'm not trying to save any money on anything. Clearly. I'm using that line very much on purpose.
Berkeley Vanish is good stuff. I mean, it gets the job
done.
Berkeley
Vanish is great stuff. I use it a lot.
It really doesn't have that bad of a memory either. It's pretty soft, pretty subtle. You know?
It's one of the best like casting line. Like, dude, a lot of the like higher end, like more expensive lines, they're like firm, they're stiff, they don't cast good. I don't like them. I'm fine with it for a leader. I don't want a spool of it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just find like the high expensive stuff. Just sometimes it's not really any better in the grand scheme.
No, but it's all application based and what makes sense. I want a heavier pound test, thinner line, so I'm buying this absurdly expensive leader material based line, but I'm buying it because it achieves a goal. I'm not buying it because, oh, it's an expensive line, so it's probably stronger.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm buying it because it achieves an objective of I want my line to be thinner, but I also want to be able to jack their face off on the hook set. So now I have a heavier pound test in a thinner diameter.
Yep.
So that's what, like, I will spend the money if the application calls for it. I have no problem doing that. But the application calls for Berkeley Banish when I'm throwing a chatterbait.
God.
Zoop, it looks like you're dying down there.
What is happening?
I just had like a surge of pain go from like my neck to my fingertips to my toe. I don't know what it's about. I'm not feeling great.
Oh my god.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good for it. It's that Ranger smooth ride. That Ranger ride system really feeling good on that way back.
Does he have one of those slapper Rangers?
Actually, no. The boat is actually nice. It's a 2017. It's the last year of pre-Johnny Ranger.
Pre-Johnny.
Yeah, even some of those pre-Johnnies, though. Some of those models are like, when they tried doing the like Worth sold boat.
Yeah.
The Ranger he had, they tried doing this thing where they wanted to make like the front decks way wider.
Right.
Which was like everybody thought was such a great idea. Like, oh wow,
oh, it's a great fishing platform.
All this more fishing space, but it's kind of like
a nitro.
Think about if you were like picking up a door and like slapping it against the water.
Alex, you don't have to describe this to me. I had a Nitro Z18.
Well, yeah, but you know, for as much positive talk as Rangers get, a lot of those like wider model Rangers were just like horrible.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah, it's like a plywood plank going through the water. Smack.
Yes. It like, dude, that boat that Ryan had used to beat the shit out of you. It was horrible.
Yeah, compared to like my Ranger was like the same length, but it was like probably like a foot skinnier than his. Sliced through a little better.
Yeah, like my Triton was probably, well, not probably, it was definitely the best riding 18-foot boat that I personally had ever been in. I'm sure there's a better, maybe there's not, I don't know. There might be a better riding 18-foot boat out there somewhere. But in terms of boats that I have personally been in, like that, it didn't have a particularly wide deck. I mean, it had
a deeper hole.
Yeah, it was a little thinner and it had a deeper V in the front. And like that thing, like there were so many times. I was just telling somebody a story the other day about like we were fishing a tournament on the Hudson River. And a lot of guys were running south to this like one particular creek. And it was a south wind against tide, blowing right up the Hudson. It was like 30 miles an hour. And I mean, I was like just passing 21 foot boats that were just like standing straight up in the air and like slapping. I was like kind of just carving through it in my 18-foot Triton. And I was the first one who made it there by far. And like I made it there pretty unscathed. Like I didn't get wet. I didn't like spear anything. I didn't come down hard off of anything. Like, and I still like took my time. I wasn't hauling there. I was going like 20 miles an hour, but like some guys were just not able to get there at all. And like when I got back to the ramp, like I heard stories of like guys with 21-foot nitros who filled their boats up to the brim and almost sank. To make the run that I run and like had to turn around and go back to the ramp. Like from breaking stuff. And I just kind of like made it there, like not even really that worried about it.
Yeah.
Just like, I know. Stop.
Yeah, like I lived it. Like you
Yeah.
don't have to tell me any of this.
Not only was he not in a 20-foot nitro, he was in an 18-foot nitro.
18.6. Get your facts right.
Oof.
Ow.
Damn, little boy boat. My Triton was 18.8.
Oof.
Yeah, you think? Yeah.
2 inches goes a long way.
Ain't that the truth? Oh,
I'll take an extra 2 inches wherever I can get it.
I think
Oh,
God,
the
an extra 2
nitro
inches
has
would
actually
change my
shrunk
life.
me by 2 inches.
An extra 2 inches would change my life in more ways than one.
Anyway, back to Bassin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got down that. Where did we come from? That got me to talking about Triton on the Hudson River.
Soup's been in pain from riding in that Ranger that's blowing props
Yeah.
up.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Hate to see it.
Speaking of pain,
Oh no.
my whole body is sore and in pain, and I kind of just want to go to sleep.
My back
like
is
that.
still in recovery mode.
Yeah, I'm very much in recovery mode.
Agreed.
And I probably have another 14-hour workday ahead of me tomorrow. So
I remember my first part-time job.
all right, guys. That was Bums Talk Bass. We'll talk next time.
Peace out.